Hello. I thank everybody for making time for me today. How is everybody doing? Good. My name is Taylor Haas, and I'm here as a representative of the United States of America. Today, I'm going to be reflecting on our country's relationship with one another, our common interests, and how we can potentially build a better relationship, although from what I hear, we have a great relationship already. We started our diplomatic relationship with one another back in 1827, 6 years after your country, Peru, gained independence from Spain. We have maintained a relatively good relationship throughout the centuries and decades, and we have supported your aspirations for regional and global leadership to continue the fight against transnational crime organizations and to strengthen citizen safety and security. Our two governments have been working closely in cooperation to resolve problems of mutual interest, such as promoting socially inclusive economic growth, strengthening of democratic institutions, respect for human rights, reducing the production and trafficking of illicit narcotics, free trade, assistance to alleviate poverty, and hemispheric integration. The United States and Peru have been working extensively together, particularly on that of increasing trade and fighting the flow of narcotics into and out of our respective countries. Bilateral programs are now in effect to reduce the flow of narcotics through Peru's port systems and to perform ground interdiction in tandem with successful law enforcement operations. On an economic level, two-way trade in goods between the United States and Peru has increased from $9.1 billion in 2009 to $17.5 billion in 2018. This amount has almost doubled, which is an astonishing feat in itself. This growth in trade is driving the growth and employment in both countries. Agricultural trade specifically has more than doubled from 2009 to 19. It has increased from 1.3 billion to 3.9 billion. This is a smaller change compared to the trading of goods, but a significant increase nonetheless. With this information, it is important to say that our economic and commercial ties have deepened tremendously overall, but especially since 2009, and hopefully this upward trend will continue. With all of this information just thrown at you, let's take a second to let it all sink in. I know all of this can seem random, but it's all going to tie together by the time I am done talking. The alliance between Peru and the United States is strong, and I'm hoping that we can come to an agreement on the grounds in which we both hope to keep our companionship going strong in the future. In June of 2013, President Obama and Peruvian President Humala met, and in their meeting they promised to strengthen ties between our two nations. The anchor of these ties could be linked to the fighting of the narcotics trade throughout the different countries, as well as the strengthening of economic ties. The number of visitors from the United States to Peru has increased over 40% in recent years and now exceeds 570,000 people per year. Currently, the United States wants to strengthen ties with Peru. This includes keeping up tourism and continuing the fight against narcotics, as well as continuing economic growth. The United States' investment in tourism in Peru has also grown substantially throughout recent years. I believe we can keep these things alive, and in doing so, we can strengthen our bond even more. How can we strengthen our bond? In what ways can we potentially make our already great relationship better? What negotiations could we have that would benefit us both while avoiding significantly harming one another or our countries? These are some of the many questions that I ponder when thinking about our political relationship and friendly relationship of our countries that we have for one another. What benefits do we have in our alliance? I feel that both countries are benefited greatly by our alliance. We both obviously benefit economically, for one example. Peru benefits from American tourism, which is a large part of the tourism that Peru gets. My country benefits from tourism as well, in part due to the people traveling to Peru, and also in part by the few thousand people that reside or visit the United States from Peru. We also benefit from our agreement and alliance over decreasing and hopefully completely eradicating the narcotic or drug trade. We both benefit from this, and both of our respective governments are adamant in stopping the narcotics trade, especially across country borders. Overall, our countries have a good relationship with one another. These are things and actions that benefit both of us, which we are both working on together. Hopefully, we will continue to use such things to drive our alliance and give good reasoning to keep it and make it stronger in the future. Our respective presidents will see the logic in keeping our alliance alive and continuing to make it last while making it grow stronger through time. Thank you all so much for the opportunity to speak here and your consideration on my thoughts. If you have any questions, feel free to come privately to ask me once your professor dismisses you. I hope I have brought some keen insight on the relationship between the United States and Peru, and I hope you learned something new today. Have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you again soon.